Yes, peeps. Welcome back to another episode on the finished article, All Things Sky Blues. Yes, we're back. It's been a while. I know you've missed us all, but we're back to cover the season so far. And I've got my boys ready to jump on. Before we go ahead, a few admin to run through. As always, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. We are on the race to 200. We are, I believe, on 150 subscribers now. So a big shout out to those who have subscribed. So please do share these in your social feeds. And as always, keep leaving your comments down below. You can see my social media feed below if you want to reach out to us on the finished article. Jump on for any future podcasts. But without further ado, let me bring on my boys, Adam and Rich. How's it going, guys?
How you doing,
Hey,
mate?
mate.
It's been a while, boys. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's got a few games. Played a few games since the last one.
It's one or two, yeah.
Not been a good time, really. Bright Elevacari's gone, and we're out the Birmingham Senior Cup, so it's all gone downhill.
That's mate.
I'm only joking.
It's only Rich that knows these facts.
Yeah.
I'm not always on about, but fair enough. I think the last game we covered was the Derby game where we drew 1-1 at the CBS Arena. We then had Hull away, which I think we'll touch upon. But go on, guys. What were your thoughts this season?
Well, if we're going to go game by game, mate, you're going to have to remind me because my mind's gone.
We can start with Hull if you want.
Hull was basically a win away from home. That's all it needs saying about that.
Well, do you know what the funny thing is? I just remember Adam having this rant at Callum O'Hare, and I thought, shit, we've lost. And just because, Adam's like one of those people that sometimes you can tell. I think it was the QPR game. He said, yeah, we scored a second, but I didn't realize he was talking about QPR. And I was looking like, oh, right? But yeah, that was, well, like you said, it was a win. What more can you say about that?
Yeah.
But go for it. What do you want to cover?
Picked up a little bit as well, but
yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best performance, but we got the 3 points, and I guess that's all that matters, really.
Missed a hatful of chances, didn't we, in that one, if I remember rightly?
It's been the story of our season, though. That missing chances. We're fantastic in the first 2/3, but we need someone now that can do something in that final third.
Yeah,
I think we're missing Waghorn.
Is he still out with COVID?
Yeah, he's got that long COVID. I think obviously still hearing that Gokares has got that massive bruise or lump on his foot, which is why he's not fully fit. So we basically only got Matty Godden fully fit and Tyler Walker, who I don't really know what he's quite clearly Robbins' fourth choice.
Gokares hasn't scored any in the last 8 games.
Since he got injured, though, isn't it? It's since he went on international duty and got injured.
Yeah,
Blackburn away picked up the injury, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were at that game, actually. That was an interesting game. I have to say, the first half, I literally missed both goals because I was at the bar getting drinks. Walked up to hear that we conceded 2. I was like, okay, what happened here? Only went down for a drink. But I've got a comment here from Glenn Watkin on Sky Blues forums. Evening, guys. Who's your player of 2021 for the Sky Blues?
We're going for the whole of 2021 or just this season?
It's got to be if it's 2021, it's got to be with Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no O'Hare, mate. No Callum O'Hare.
Not even close, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what. If we count the first 2/3 of the pitch, he's the best player in the championship.
Oh wow!
Don't get me wrong. The guy's got his qualities, but he has his weaknesses as well, which is why he's probably still with us. It's probably to be fair, it's probably the only reason why a Premier League team isn't knocking on the door. It's his lack of ability in that final third, and it's got to be a psychological thing. Now it's got to the point now where we've had 3 seasons of him, consistently overhitting, underhitting passes, overhitting, underhitting crosses. He gets 1-on-1 with the keeper, and it's either a tame effort into the keeper's hands or he smashes it high and wide. He desperately needs a sports psychologist. I don't know whether that's in our budget at the club, but that's one thing we need.
Hopefully, he comes good when the window closes.
Yeah,
but I thought his main role was
February to the end of the season. Hopefully, he's banging them away.
I just don't think he's got it. To be honest, I don't think he'll ever do it. I think we need to try and drop him deeper where he doesn't affect the end product, and we need somebody then that can do what he's doing at that, or someone that can actually do something at the end of the pitch.
So you want him to provide basically for the strikers, and that's it. So he needs to perform a bit deeper.
He needs to sit further back. He needs to be playing a much deeper role because he's quality when he's in and around sort of the middle of the park. But he gets near the goal and his head just goes. You can see him overthinking it.
Yeah, no, true.
You know, his movement's so fluid in the first 2/3 of the pitch, but then the second he gets in that final third, you can see he takes that extra half a second because he's actually thinking about what he has to do rather than it coming naturally.
No, very true, mate. Very true.
I mean, you got that goal against Bristol City. We'll come to that game in a minute, but he got that goal against Bristol City and thought maybe when he had one, it hasn't happened.
We were hoping, weren't we? But yeah, he's if anything since then, he's been worse than before, and it's painful because the guy's got the talent. He really has got the talent, but just at that end of the pitch, his head's just gone. And someone needs to work with him on that. You know, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, they do need to get something at the club, somebody there who can just, you know, get his head right.
No, absolutely. What about you, Rich? What are your thoughts?
What, for the player of the season question?
Yeah,
probably agree with McFadden, but then there's also special mentions for Dom Hyam, Simon Moore. Has been fantastic in goal. Improvement on what we had last season. And obviously, Matty Godden's at form now after a slow. Well, he was injured at the start of the season, but after a slow start. So, but yeah, I'd probably agree with Adam with McFadden.
No, that's fine. Nice one, Glenn. I've got another comment from Glenn who says Wagon is fit from shoulder injury, but he's got a calf problem. Hopefully, he should be back in training in 7 to 10 days. Interesting. Nice. Should be good to have him back on. But going forward, I know we covered Hull. I think we had that 2-1 defeat to Swansea.
Yeah, that was a night I felt the wheels were starting to come off that night because, from what I remember, that weren't a great performance against what I thought looked a decent Swansea side. But to be honest, I don't think we were good enough that night.
I think Robbins went back to his old nonsense of last season and didn't want to change the shape, didn't want to make substitutions. He made did he make the second change in the 89th minute?
Tyler Walker on in the last minute.
Yeah.
What's the point? There's no point in that. But that was his second change of the game. And rather than actually taking off a defender for Tyler Walker, he just went like for like. Like, it's just absolutely pointless. And sometimes you have to question like what Robbins does sometimes. Like, he gets it right every now, like most of the time, but then every now and again he just does something so left field and it just doesn't work. And you think, what the hell are you doing?
No, that's true. I mean, I have to say some because I've seen some comments and what people have said. So I think where we're now in the league, we're currently 7th.
8th now, but
8th. Okay,
doesn't mean anything because the game's in hand. And
but then again, at the start of the season, we were just hoping to stay up and hope mid-table or be a little bit higher than last season. So, I mean, that's definitely an improvement.
Still looking good for survival.
But the thing is, though, okay, we're 8th, but it actually feels like a disappointment because of how well we've played in these matches. And if we just had somebody or just had that one little bit where, you know, with somebody just like towed it into the back of the net when we dominated these games, like Sheffield United, for example, we should have had that game to bed before they got the equaliser.
Yeah, and Adam, I think that's one point I would agree with. I mean, this season, or not just this season, but generally how we've been playing over the last couple of years or last couple of games, if you like, the fact that we're actually being positive but not being clinical in front of goal, I think that the frustration is obviously natural. Now, obviously, end product is one thing that does need to improve because I think apart from Matthew Godden and Gyökeres, I don't think we're getting many goals. I know Liam Kelly chips in with the odd 1 or 2.
McFadden's got 3, which is decent for your centre back.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? I would say that West Brom game should have ended in a draw. I know we'll come to it, but I just had to throw it out there. I was like, they got lucky with their second goal. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but we didn't deserve anything out of that game. They were the better team in that. I think I felt like they came with a great game plan and I think they executed it well. And I think we got what we deserved out of that one. I think if we'd have got a point there, that would have been very, very lucky. I wouldn't have been complaining, but you know, I don't think we deserved a win at all, or even a point.
No, fair enough. I'm moving on. I know we got Bristol City where 1-3-2. I know Rich wants to talk about
that was an enjoyable one because first half, from what I remember, we dominated but gave the penalty away.
Yep.
And went down to 10 men. Down to 10 men, 1-0 down. You take anything from the game at that point. but we equalised from the penalty, went behind again. Again, Callum O'Hare equalised. And what I liked about that performance was, even though we were the side down to 10 men, most teams, even though we were the home side, most teams would have sat back, settled for the draw. We seemed to be the team that were going for it. Bristol City looked like a team happy to settle for a draw, despite I felt sorry for their supporters that day. I know they booed the team off after the game, but
we played better with the 10 men than we did with the 11 that day.
Isn't this
positivity of that performance down to 10 men, and we were still going for it till the final whistle.
But isn't this the story about season? So that the fact that we got the win and we seem to be never give up to the final whistle, if you like. It seems to be a consistent story. But as Adam is saying, the problem is a games against Derby where we should have battered them before they even got back into it, or Sheffield United where we talked about that. Well, I watched that game and I thought we should be a couple of goals up. So is it a case of the goals going to come, or are we? So the problem is then you got to say that when we get our chances, we've got to take them early, because otherwise teams are just going to suss us out, and eventually it's going to either end up as a tame draw. But I don't know. What do you do about that? Do you bring a striker in, or would you change the system?
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, we've seen it at the start of the season, the first few matches, where we started off with the 5 at the back, and then Robbins was going to a back 4 to try and chase the game. And when we did that, we seemed to play great attacking football. We dominated those spells as well. Okay, it was only for 10, 15 minutes, but I mean, he seems to be a little bit more reluctant to go that way. He seems to want to stick with 5 at the back at all costs. And I think, we probably could have had a few more points on the board if he'd been a little bit more risky. Because we're playing good enough football. You can see, it doesn't matter whether we've got 10 men on the pitch. It doesn't matter if we go with 5 at the back, 4 at the back. We're playing great football, but what we need are bodies at the right end of the pitch. And I think when you've got 5 at the back, though, you've automatically got people that are going to be sitting further back. So, you've only got 5 in front of you when the ball's played out from the keeper. And I just think at times we could just do with that extra attacking player in front of him, even if it is a midfield. It doesn't have to be a striker as such, but, just an extra person at the right end of the pitch. And I think it can have the right effect. And I think when we've gone that way, we've looked good.
No, very true. I mean, what would you change in the system, and what would you like to see done differently?
Well, like I say, it works when we've got the 5 at the back. We play lovely football, but I think, he's got to be a bit more. I'd like to see him switch to that 4 at the back when we are either level or, behind. It's just a bit strange how he never seems to want to change it. He never seems to want to take a defender off for an attacker. If he's got the 5 on now, he just seems obsessed with just keeping those 5 on the pitch, and he'll just do like-for-like changes. And, okay, it has worked, but then there's other times where it hasn't.
So it's
difficult.
Do you reckon that's based on the fact that he knows the run of games that we've had? He's trying to just try and grind out a result in that and then try and win the others, or what do you reckon it comes down to? Just an opinion. I mean,
yeah, it's just a tough one. Let's say Sheffield United, I think if he made that change 20 minutes earlier, we would have gone on to get a second goal. The fact is he made the change after.
Sheffield United was 0-0, wasn't it?
Sorry, yeah. I think we would
have mixed it myself there.
I thought it was 1-1.
No, 0-0 that one.
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of?
Huddersfield.
Oh, no. Well, it was 0-0, wasn't it? Yeah, but we had a hatful of chances. Sorry.
Yeah. I didn't watch the Sheffield United game.
Yeah. I genuinely think, though, we would have scored if he'd gone with that tactical change before they brought McGoldrick on. But I think once they brought McGoldrick on and then we made that change, it just played into their hands. It's just one of them, though. He made for me, he made the right call, but he made it too late. And obviously, tactically, Sheffield United got that one right. But then there's been other games where, like Swansea, you kind of look at it and you question why you stick with it when it's clearly not working. You've made no effort to change the tactics, no effort to change personnel until the 89th minute. You've got to ask the question, what's wrong with the guys on the bench? Why are they not getting 15 minutes of run out to try and, do something and affect the game? Because we've seen that even okay, I know a lot of people, don't really like. I don't want to say don't really like, but don't rate Tyler Walker as highly as the other 3. But he came on and he's changing games.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm not being funny though. It's very difficult for a striker to change a game in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a lot to ask of even the best players in the world to come on for 3 minutes and do something in the game of football.
Exactly. But I mean, going back to the Sheffield United game, that wasn't a bad point, to be fair.
No.
Not before kickoff, it wasn't. But based on the way we played the game, we dominated 70 minutes of that match.
The one that I was most disappointed by was Birmingham at home.
Yeah, that's the next game.
I thought Birmingham, quality-wise, they're very. I think they're a poor side. To be honest, I think they looked like a non-league side in a cup tie that night. Defended well. Obviously,
you've seen how bad they were, mate. They got nothing yesterday.
I can't criticise them too much because they got a draw with us, but they've got a few physically strong players. But football-wise, they were terrible. City dominated the game.
Or is it a case that we didn't take our chances in the fact that because they managed to grind our results? So the problem is, even if you have one chance, as Adam will tell you, if it's one chance and we don't take it, that's probably what it'll come down to. Literally, you get one goal and that opens it. But the problem is, it's like we lacking that confidence. So sometimes I think we take too many touches in the box. We're trying to be too fancy, and that's what I think could probably lead to our downfall. I don't know.
I mean, credit to Birmingham that night. They were very good at running the clock down, and like they were doing it from the start of the second half, basically. But yeah, our final ball that night let us down and that did feel like 2 points drop for me. Like, so that was
I'd agree with that.
Rich will love this next game. Rich went to this one, didn't you? Bournemouth away.
Probably say this one was probably our best performance over the last 8 games. Because first half, we were very unlucky to go 1-0 down. 1-0 down at half time. I thought it was pretty. Yeah, the wind. They basically scored because of the wind, which we had our own bit of luck in the second half. We'll come to that in a minute. But first half, thought we went toe to toe with them. Was quite even. Second half, Bournemouth got the second, and they were starting to look stronger until the sending off. And then at 2-0 down, okay, we had the extra man advantage, but credit to the City, we kept going until the end. Godin got us back into it. And then absolute superb goal by Todd Kane in dying seconds. One of many late goals for us this season. I think it was a fluke, to be honest.
Well, yeah, the wind.
I think the wind helped him. But the wind assisted one for them in the first half. So
yeah.
Because I remember now that I think back at it, we went 1-0 down in that game. Adam messaged something really stupid like everyone went to sleep, and I'm like, what's he on about here? So I watched the highlights, and I was like, literally evaded everybody and went into the goal, and I'm like, okay. So
I will say for Todd Kane, he was excellent that game, even up until the goal. He was probably man of the match that day.
He's been one of our best performers probably in the last few matches. Yeah. And I'll be honest, if it wasn't for like Robin's obsession with putting Dabo in the starting 11 at all costs, he'd be our number one first choice at right back. But for whatever reason, he seems to want to stick Dabo in wherever he can get him. I mean, he can't play centre back. Martin's a far better left wing back.
We'll come to Dabo at centre back when we go on to the West Brom game.
And like Dabo's been one of our best players, and Kane is making him look, I would say, average.
Yeah. I mean, I would say swap him out for Todd Kane if he's performing better. That's just the way.
Yeah, but he seems to want to put Dabo in for, it's like his best mate. It's that one player at Sunday League that'll play wherever, just because the manager likes him.
Oh dear.
But yeah, no, I think he shouldn't play centre back ever again, Dabo. He's proven that.
Yeah, I think that West Brom game proves it.
Yeah.
It was disappointing because big local derby. Obviously, John Sillett had passed away a few days earlier. So would really love to have got something out of that West Brom game, but they are a well-equipped side for this division. I think up until West Brom scored, I think we were playing the better football. I think up in them first 20 minutes, and then it was a Dabo mistake, wasn't it, that got West Brom ahead.
Again, we played, but like you say, we played some nice football in it, but we didn't really look like threatening an awful lot in that game. Like, all the football's great up until a certain point, and then we just don't look like we've got that finishing touch.
I spoke about Birmingham being a physical side. West Brom basically have Birmingham's physicality, but with quality. So with the quality to punish you, and that's what they did.
The first goal was basically a silly mistake. The second goal, okay, I know it just. I think I don't know. They went back to sleep or something. But their second goal, should have been disallowed. Clear handball.
Yeah,
Uh,
dubious, but
okay.
yeah. The only thing I'll say
in the Premier League it gets ruled out, but in this league, there'll be one where that goes our way.
The only thing I'll say for City in that second half against West Brom is, okay, it wasn't a great performance that day, but we did get a late goal back, and we did keep going till the end, like we have done all season. But it was disappointing to lose that one.
Too often, though, we're chasing games that we've been playing well in, and we seem to find ourselves going behind and then having to get ourselves out of a hold. That's got to stop. I'd like to start taking the lead.
Do you reckon Hamer's injury is playing a part in it? Apparently, he's not been fit.
Yeah, because I think they brought him back a bit. He didn't play against. He missed the Bournemouth game, didn't he? And then I think they brought him back possibly a bit too soon because he went off injured in that West Brom game.
Yeah.
He didn't play against Huddersfield, did he? That was a game we had Kelly and Chief and O'Hare and Jamie Allen played. Had a very good game, Jamie Allen did at Huddersfield. And that was I watched that one on Sky. Very good performance, but again, couldn't put our chances away. 22 attempts on goal.
Yeah.
This is when
O'Hare had 21.
Yeah. I was just going to say that.
Oh, is this the Huddersfield game? So I remember I was driving down to Cov and to catch up with some friends, and Richard actually called me. So I thought he was about to tell me something really exciting, like the score. I said, "Mate, please break the suspense." I thought he was about to tell me that we won 1-0 or something, and I was like, "Oh, mate," I was like, gutted. But
well, you get a late equaliser away from home. You normally buzz him, but I was actually
but the funny thing is we seem to, like Adam has said, if we're dominating games, then we go behind them, we get an late equaliser. It's like, but why do we keep putting ourselves in these positions? It should be the other way around, where we just have to accept that. Look, we're only going to get a few chances, so we just got to take them and bury them in the back of their net.
Well, we had a lot of chances in that game, though.
Yeah, we had Like, Todd Kane put in over 20 crosses.
20 crosses.
20 crosses, wow. But were we not just playing with, was it Godden up front in that game only? Just one up top? You know what I mean? Like, when you've got, I'm not being funny,
on the bench,
that's the sort of nonsense, though, that you look at and you think, right, as a manager, why are you not thinking, right, I've got a right wing back who's pinging crosses in left, right, and centre. Let me get a second striker in there, because one of them's likely to get a touch. Even if they don't get it on goal, it's likely to force a corner or something else. You know what I mean? Just keep the pressure on.
Yeah. The starting lineup that day, it just looked like he wanted to keep it tight. It just looked like he was.
It seems like he's happy to play for a draw a lot of the time with these starting lineups, and it's a little bit frustrating because I think we're good enough to go and take the game. So, well, we've proven it.
Yeah, you take draws away from home, but we have played some of the football this season. We've played. Yeah, I think we could potentially be a little bit more.
I looked at it, right, and some of these games where we've been dominated, we could easily have another 10 points on the board. Easily.
Absolutely. Guys, before we carry on, I just got a comment from Glenn here. Who says, "Merry Christmas, guys. Looking forward to joining us on the Sky Blue Fan podcast next year." Nice one, mate. Yes, absolutely. We will be collaborating with you guys at some point next year. We were supposed to after the Stoke game. That hasn't happened yet because COVID decided to rear its ugly head again.
We've had a few weeks off doing them, but I think we're going to try and make it a regular thing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll jump on after we smash Cardiff.
If the game goes ahead,
I think it will. I'll be surprised if it doesn't.
Cardiff City, eh? Actually, you know what? Since we've covered the games, what do you reckon for the next couple of games? We've got Cardiff.
Win.
Oh wow, Adam's confident. It's Cardiff, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, if it goes ahead.
What am I doing?
Cardiff are struggling a bit, aren't they? Down in the bottom half.
Yes. So we've got Cardiff away 26th, and then we've got Millwall at home on the 29th.
You'd want at least 4 points from them.
And then Luton at home.
Win.
Luton's New Year's Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say win for them all, mate. It don't matter who it is. No, I think Luton. I think we've got to be careful in that one. literally battered us that night. We just didn't turn up for that one. So there's got to be they've got to be.
Oh, didn't we go and beat what you call it, Fulham 4-1 after?
Exactly.
That was hilarious.
But it was such a strange.
Funnily enough, I was watching a podcast we did weeks ago after the Peterborough game. I was watching that back earlier, randomly, and I think the game after that was Luton, and we were on there being really cocky, saying, "Oh yeah, that's one. Or normally we take a draw away from home, but that's one that they're there for the taking." And then they went and stuffed us.
Absolutely battered us from the first minute. Yeah, it was an awful game to watch. I didn't even bother watching all of it because it was that bad. I can't remember what point I turned it off, but I flicked it back over, saw it was 5-0. I thought, I'm glad I haven't wasted my time with this.
Oh, and the Fulham was even funnier. So we were away that weekend, and Rich came with us. We were having a lads weekend. It was the funniest thing. So Rich didn't turn up for go-karting with us. We all went go-karting, and I was thinking, shit, City have lost. And one of the guys, Adam was like, as is usual, with shit with this. Oh, hair's rubbish. This, I was okay. I'm going to see. Next thing, I pick up my phone. 4-1. Rich is lost in some pub.
Yeah.
I
was watching it in a pub full of Scousers. Yeah. Although I think Everton were playing Manchester United at the same time, but that was on BT Sport, and you had all these Scousers coming into the pub wanting the Everton game on, but because they didn't have the channel. It's lucky for me because I got to watch the City.
Yeah, he did.
To be fair, that game though was all turned on a dodgy dive.
Right.
We would have still won. God, no, I genuinely don't think we would have. And I think the dive and then obviously the resulting penalty, they lost their heads after that Fulham, and that was what turned the game. That one moment literally turned the game, because from that point onwards, they were gone, and we just thought, you know what, we can capitalise here, and we proved that obviously we can put goals in the back of the net.
Yes. Was that the last time Jokeris scored?
Yeah, I think so. He got 2 that day.
Wow.
To even it out though,
I think Mitrovic has scored about 15 since then.
Couple of weeks later, we had Derby at home, and at 1-0 up, Godden had a goal disallowed, didn't he? That shouldn't have been.
Yes, I remember that.
Which would have put us 2-0 up, and would have been another 3 points. But sometimes they go your way, sometimes they don't. So,
no, absolutely.
Decisions.
Absolutely. I mean, realistically, now that we're coming up to Christmas, well, in a week's time anyway, what are your thoughts for the second half of the season? What do you want? What do you think, especially the transfer window? I mean, who do you think we need to sign? What do you reckon Robbie needs to do?
The crazy. We might be losing Maxson. Did you read that rumor?
Oh, Barcelona.
The thing is, though, they've put it up. They've watched it on Sky Sports News as well, so there's got to be some sort of legs on that.
Oh. He's not our player, though, so it's not like we'll get any money for him either.
No. Well, at least Dabo gets to play.
Okay, hold on. Why are we getting emotional over a player that isn't that? We did that with Matty James last season as well.
Yeah, I think if we lost him, though, in January, it'd be a massive blow to us because we'd need to replace him. We would need a left-sided, player. As for players that are going out, I think a lot of that's going to come down to contracts. And I think, Robbins will have had some, conversations with players, and I guess it depends whether players want to stay here or whether they're going to have their heads turned by the offer of more money. Hamer, prime example, got 18 months left. Personally, I'll be honest, I don't think the guy will sign because there's going to be clubs out there that can offer him a lot more money. That'll be, hungry for that. And obviously, if he's not going to sign a new contract, would you want him to stay for the 18 months and go for nothing? Or would you want him to go now when we can get more money for him than potentially in the summer?
So how much you reckon he's worth and how much you reckon we sell him for?
I think anywhere between 6 and 8 mil. I think we wouldn't get much more than that. I'd be happy with, the top end, 8 mil. Gives you money to, bring in 1 or 2 good championship quality players to replace him and strengthen, maybe an actual, someone who actually is our own player at left wing back. I think we need I genuinely think we need a number 10, but I think if Hamer goes, it gives O'Hare the opportunity to play in Hamer's role slightly deeper. And I think genuinely we'd have no problems doing that. But then we'd need to have an actual number 10.
But we'd have to bring someone in and hope that it clicks for them straight away.
Yeah, but if you look around the Championship, there's an awful lot of players who play in midfield, who chip in with 5-6 goals a season, 5-6 assists. In this team and the way we play football, that would easily turn into 8-9 goals, 8-9 assists. Just the football we play. So all of a sudden, you've got a player that's going to chip in with a few more goals than what you'd normally get at another team. So
I don't think our midfield has 10 goals between them, do they?
Adam, wasn't it you that said, was it that we've created the most chances without actually converting them?
I
Or
think so.
second most,
I'm sure it's we're
XG
right
or
up there.
whatever it was, something like that. Some crazy stat he shared. I was like, okay, crikey, that's
Yeah.
great.
Remember, one of the worst teams in the league for converting chances, but we've been creating so many that
Yeah,
some are going to go in.
yeah.
Or
That's
something
that's
to give.
what I'm saying though. If you've got an attacking midfielder who's maybe not the best of the best, and obviously we're not going to attract the best of the best, certainly with our budget. But if we've got someone that, like I say, chips in with 5, 6 somewhere else, they'll quite easily get 8 or 9 here, easily, just by the chances and the way we play.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I've heard Shipley's on the way out. Not that he's playing anyway, but
It's not a surprise. I think
It's
he's
a shame.
I think he struggled with the step up. To be honest with you, he looked good in League 2. He looked reasonably good in League 1, and you thought, okay, well, look, let's give him a chance. But quite clearly, he's not cutting the mustard.
Yeah. Whether he'll be out the door or whether it'll be out on loan, I don't know. But
I think I'd prefer to see him go out on loan, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest, and at least give him the opportunity to then come back in the summer and see whether he can, still offer
the-
something to the club.
him,
But
him and Jody Jones are two players we desperately want to see do well for the club.
well, Jody Jones was
Mm.
instrumental, wasn't he, in the last game?
Well, he put the cross in, didn't he, for Godden against
Yeah.
Huddersfield?
that's it. That's how you cross a football.
Oh wow, it's hilarious.
The thing is, though, right, this is the thing I'm talking about. Though we've had players there who don't look up, and when they do look up, they either over here or under here. And Jones literally got that one, bang on, but he'd only been on the pitch a few minutes. Inch perfect cross. But Walker needs a shout out for the way he took out those two defenders. If you watch it back, look at how Walker just basically just distracts those two defenders so Godden gets the space for the header. It's if he don't do that, we don't get the goal. So,
No, true. Very true.
So yeah, I'd like to see Jody, get the opportunities, but again, he's not going to be rushed back.
No.
And you can still see, he took a little knock, didn't he, in that game, and he looked down at his, his foot. Yeah, so you can see he's still playing with a little bit of fear, and that's only going to come with time. It's understandable though.
He's had 2 injuries.
Well, to come back from one injury like that's incredible, but to come back from 3 and he's basically gone up 2 levels.
And he don't really look out of place, does he? It does look like a little bit slower than he did, but again, it's probably just due to lack of game time.
Well, yeah,
and match fitness. I think that will come. Wouldn't surprise me though if in the next 5, 6 games he's being given a slightly longer run out and he starts skinning 2, 3 players and smashing shots in left, right, and centre. We saw that. Was it Charlton? He scored a screamer against in pre-season. Am I thinking of that? Was it Charlton?
Yeah,
I can't remember. It's pretty friendly, weren't it?
But it was a mad goal, weren't it? If he's got that in his locker, let's get him out there.
Well, we're going to be, especially over Christmas, you have a build-up of games anyway. With loads of games being called off left, right, and centre, it's probably going to be even more congested. So we're going to have to use our squad. So at some point, we'll probably have to give him a decent run out, or he's going to get a decent run out.
Am I right in thinking though that I know obviously I'm thinking way ahead, but the following season isn't that starting 2 weeks early to accommodate the World Cup?
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So obviously
they're not going to want to postpone the season.
Exactly. They're not going to want to go further.
So the funny thing is, in the Premier League, what they were saying is we're not going to cancel any games because the funny thing is that their games have been cancelled anyway. Yeah. So it's like literally they're in a cross between hard and rock place. They can't decide.
Yeah. Right. I just got to go and turn an elephant on.
Yeah.
I hope that's not a euphemism for his missus.
Whilst Rich goes and does that, okay, he's back.
Yeah.
We'll continue on. I mean, he's back.
She had a good reason for making a noise, to be fair. Her elephant had gone off.
See, that's what this podcast is all about. We bring the live entertainment to you. There's never a dull moment.
That's it.
Especially the guy that joined at the start. I'm not even sure who it was. He just joined and left. I hope it wasn't Darren.
What's that?
I think someone joined, a fourth person joined the stream at the start on the
Who
mobile.
did you invite?
Saying it was Darren. I think
Darren.
I don't know if it was him because I couldn't read his name. Maybe it might have been him.
It was just a blank screen, weren't it? And then left after about 20 seconds.
They're like, the boys have got this. They've taken care of this. But yeah. Anyway, what were we saying? What were we talking about?
Transfers, mate. We were going
transfer, yes. So yeah, who would you reckon we need to bring in? Probably another striker.
It's a tricky one though, because obviously I think when Gokares, Waghorn, and Godden are all fit, I think we've got a reasonably good. I think it is the midfield. You know, as good as they are, we need something a little bit different. I think we've got three very similar players there in Sheaf, Allen, and Kelly, and I think we need someone who's championship quality, who's a little bit different to that. Because obviously, when two out of those three play, or when all three have played, it's just all very, very similar. I think we just need that little bit of creativity.
Yeah,
you've got O'Hare, who's the workhorse. You've got Hamer, who's got that amazing technical ability. But then if those two aren't playing or aren't firing, you've just got three players.
Says we want O'Hare's work rate just with the end product.
Oh, mate,
all season.
I tell you what, if that guy finds an end product rate, we've got one hell of a player on our hands. Seriously, like he'll go to the Prem. Simple as that.
Yeah,
I still think he'll come good for us.
I hope so, mate. But I've been banging that drum for since League One. I've been saying that's the only part missing to his game. Then he stepped up last season. He's like, okay, first season he struggled a little bit, and then this season he's gradually got I say worse, just less confident. You can see it is purely a confidence thing. He's got the ability, but for whatever reason, it's in his head.
Sometimes I think O'Hare overcomplicates it. He's I think the Blackburn game, I remember he was in the box. Me and Rich were watching this. He came into the box, he turned, and I thought, okay, all he's got to do is put it into the back of the net. And he was just taking too many touches. I was like, bro, all you got to do is shoot. I think he tries too hard sometimes.
Like I say, he overthinks everything in that end of the pitch. He gets to the final third and he has to think about what he's doing. Whereas when he's 30 yards in front of his own box, he'll just go and turn three players, make a little run, play a pass, get it on the return, and then carry on making a great run. You think, why can't you do that at the other end of the pitch?
On the training ground, he probably bangs them away.
Mate, I'd love to see what goes on that training ground. So if he smashes them in at the training ground, then that this is definitely a psychological thing.
Possibly is. I think it's something he can overcome.
That would be my big transfer in for January: a sports psychologist to get O'Hare scoring or doing, just learning to cross properly. But the thing is, though, he clearly can cross a ball, but he just overhits it or underhits it. You just got to have that, that focus.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. True.
And I tell you what, that could be the difference between whether we finish in the playoffs or not. Whether O'Hare finds that touch in the final third.
The funniest thing is that at the start of the season, none of us were talking about playoffs. We're not even through December, and we're like, "What are we going to do to finish the playoffs?" Hang on.
I'm still not talking about the playoffs.
Rich, what's your magic number again? What's the magic number?
Wow, it's 51 to stay up, isn't it?
Mate, he's still banging on.
So we need another 17. Although Derby stayed up on 44 last season, so we're almost there on that.
Yeah, they robbed Wickham, mate. They did. Lucky they're still in the league.
Keep going. Take each game as it comes. Just keep picking up them points.
Yeah, Cardiff for 20th right now on 22.
I think we've had a lot of draws the last few games, which they can be frustrating because we're not losing. Sometimes you're better off to win a few and lose a few in some ways and have lots of draws because you're getting more points. Although
in the last 6 games,
you're stopping other teams from getting the points. So
the last 6 games, we won 1, lost 1, and drawn 4.
Yeah.
So Bristol City, obviously. Then we had the 3 draws against Sheffield United, Birmingham, and Bournemouth. Lost to West Brom, and then drawn against Huddersfield. Yeah. Blackburn are on it. Blackburn are just storming up.
Out of those draws, though, I'd say
last 8, isn't it?
The only one of those that we actually didn't possibly deserve to get maybe Bournemouth. Up until they had the man sent off, it was all Bournemouth. We weren't in that game at all. So
First half, I thought we were. Second half, up until sending off, Bournemouth were.
I think you got the old sky blue tinted specs on there, mate. I think the first half we played. Don't get me wrong, we didn't play badly, but I'd say Bournemouth were the better team.
No, I was very happy in the first. Up until when Bournemouth got their goal to go ahead, I think it came about 40. It came injury time at the end of the first half, didn't it? I was thinking this is good first half, And then I thought we were very unlucky to go in 1-0 down at half time, to be fair. I thought.
Yeah, we maybe didn't deserve to go behind, but I don't think we were dominant in that at all in that first half.
Well, no, I'm not saying we were dominant, but I think we went toe to toe with them. I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they shaded it for me. That's my view on it.
Second half, they were shading it up until the sending off.
I think they were absolutely pulling our pants down, mate, up until they got the sending off. And then that changed the game for us. And then obviously something's clicked, and the guys have gone, all right, let's try and get something out of this.
Oh, it's funny when somebody said it was 2-2, I was like, this is amazing. I was like, okay, come on, let's go for the win.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, the other three though, we should have won.
Yeah.
Based on how we played, we should have won all three of them. And how we didn't.
Ground off the list when I went Bournemouth. First time in a few years I've ticked off another league ground.
I know didn't you try that last season, but it got cancelled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a nice family weekend away.
Good stuff.
Yes, you did, didn't you?
Just Fulham to do for me in the Championship now.
When's that?
April.
Are you going there?
If we're not in a lockdown. We'll see what happens.
Don't jinx it.
Well, my gut feeling is we're going to be playing behind closed doors from January, but I hope I'm wrong.
Maybe a couple.
No, you do not know. It's if you get the crowd under 10,000, I think he's fine.
See what that's what Carlisle did.
Carlisle got spot on. Well, they're not getting their attendances are only about 8,000, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but they've actually had to reduce the capacity by basically covering the seats, and they literally had to make sure they had 9,999 available seats only, so that they haven't got.
See, we could have done that when we were in League Two. We were getting about 9,000, weren't we? Average.
Yeah, but
obviously now we'd be telling 10,000 people they couldn't come. So,
but would you? Okay, but if it was the difference between having fans in or fans not, would you rather have 9,999 in or none?
Exactly.
But then you'd have all these people having tantrums though online saying, "Oh, I'll go to every game, so I deserve to go." Well, why do you deserve to go any more than a guy that can only make it every now and again? You know what I mean? Like it just opens up that kind of. I get obviously you'd be upset if you go to every game and then can't get a ticket. Well, I do get it, but everyone has the right to go to a game of football.
Oh, but I would say my favorite is when somebody says it is on red button. Is on the red button, and
have we got 10,000 season ticket holders?
We've got 11, mate.
Oh, so we couldn't really do a Carlisle then.
We've got 11,000.
Yeah.
Well, surely we could just put the other, 1,001 in the executive boxes.
No, I think that counts as the attendance.
No.
Have you seen the prices for that? That's about 350 quid. That's Merry Christmas for you, mate. Let's do it, boys.
Oh, you'd be quite happy if you brought a season ticket, standard price, and they moved you to the executive boxes
exactly.
for no extra cost.
Why not, mate? Why not?
That's what I'm talking about doing.
You get food, you get drinks. What more do you need, mate? It's 5-star catering.
Well, you need O'Hare to score a couple of goals.
I'm on the O'Hare bandwagon.
Do you know what? Right, I think he will come good. I do think he will. He's got to, because our season hinges on it. I think unless we get somebody else in January.
No doubt, bro. New year, new start for O'Hare.
Yeah.
But as always, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It'll be the first game in February. He'll bang into and get a couple of assists. Once the transfer window shut again.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. I guarantee you though, something will come out of left field though in terms of like a club calling in for one of our players. Yeah, maybe not one of the big stars in the side, but somebody who's an important part of the team. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a big, well, not even a big bid, but just a bid that might tempt the club into selling. Someone like Hyam.
Hyam, yeah.
He's not obviously the first name that everybody sort of talks about.
Hero, I think.
Yeah, but he is an important part of the side.
I can only remember him making one mistake all season.
Yeah, exactly. But you wouldn't be surprised if somebody took a gamble on him. Like Newcastle, for example. I'm not, it's the sort of player like they need defenders.
Yeah.
Could he do a job in the Prem?
Yeah, but why would you go to Newcastle when they're coming down anyway? I
Mate,
mean,
okay, all right. Would you rather live in Coventry on, like 4 or 5 grand a week that he's on? Would you rather go to Newcastle, where all the money is now, and the nightlife up there and get 40 grand a week, mate, in the Championship?
Well, yeah, okay. When you put it like that,
Do you know what I mean? Though? Yeah, but it's a massive opportunity for someone.
Yeah.
They're the richest club in world football at the moment. So whether they're coming down or not, if you've got the opportunity to go and play there, you're going to go there.
You would.
Rich, have you been to Newcastle?
What's the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went with Adam actually for a guy.
Mate,
Good
honestly,
day out that was. We lost, but
genuinely, mate, we were so high up I couldn't see who had the ball.
that was the game when the City fans were having a right go at Steve Staunton all game because our left back had a bit of a nightmare. Then we all got home and found out it weren't Staunton playing; it was Stuart Giddens.
Wow.
You probably need binoculars.
Mate, genuinely, I couldn't tell the difference between half of them. Anyone with the same hair colour, you were basically stuffed.
Yeah.
What we needed them all to do that day is dye their hair a different colour.
It's a game the legend that was Andy Morrell started. Wasn't it his dream to play at St James's Park? Because he used to play non-league up there, and he started the game, went off injured after 12 seconds. But said afterwards it was the best 12 seconds of his career.
Bloody hell.
Wow.
That is a blast from the past, mate. Andy Morrell.
I liked him.
Worked hard, mate, but let's be honest, he came from non-league. Bit of a chance, and I don't know. Didn't really pay off.
5 consecutive games once.
Yeah, like I say, he wasn't a terrible player, but certainly not one of our best either. But he was well liked and he worked hard.
Yeah.
Is that the same sort of time that we had Simpson? Did we have Simpson and Morrell at the same time?
No, Robbie Simpson came a little bit after, I think.
He was.
Andy Morrell came 03-04. I think we sold him at the end of 05-06. He might have even sold him before the season finished. I can't remember. Yeah, we signed Robbie Simpson in 2007.
And because he kind of reminded me a little bit of Morrell in the way he worked hard, and he seemed like he was a striker being bonged out on the wides, which is what we did with Morrell as well.
Yeah.
Bought a striker from Wrexham who was banging in 35, 40 goals a season in non-league, and rather than play him down the middle in his preferred role, we'll put him on the left wing instead because that makes sense.
Oh dear.
We've done that far too many times over the years. Though, bought a player who plays in one position, bonged him
Freddie Eastwood
completely out of position.
Yeah.
We used to do the same with Bakayoko. Now look at him in Bolton. He's having a whale of a time over there playing centre forwards.
Chris Coleman used to have a thing about playing Freddie Eastwood out wide.
No, it just boggles the mind, mate.
Oh wow.
Dear me.
Talk all night, day, guys.
Yeah, we could talk all night about all these old players that used to be.
And we're going to talk about Adam's favorite, John Hudson. I called him a City legend. He was disappointed.
I don't like the word legend. Like, legend for me are the likes of Sillett, Curtis, Jimmy Hill,
Oggy,
Mark Malloy.
Not Robbie Keane then.
Nah, he was not. He was one of the best players we've had, but he was here for a year, mate. I mean, come on.
Well, same with John Hartson.
Exactly. He did
while he was here.
Let's be honest. Hartson could have been a legend for us, but he decided to bugger off to Celtic instead of getting us out of the Championship.
If we'd signed him a few weeks earlier and his goals had kept us up, then it would have been a different story.
I remember me and Rich watched him make his debut, and the goal was offside. I think he had a goal disallowed
against West Ham.
Yeah, West Ham. Yeah. Oh man, those are good days.
He had that little room where he scored 5 in 4 games. Scored 2 at Old Trafford.
Yes, he did.
Got the winner against Sunderland. That's the last game we ever won in the Premiership.
Well, you know what to say. Onwards and upwards. We're back.
Until next season.
When we signed John Hartson, when we signed John Hartson, it was like gaining 2 players because Bellamy looked a lot better. But
Craig Bellamy. I don't know where he came from.
I'm glad he's gone though.
Reals, weren't it?
Oh dear. You know what, guys? We could actually go on and on, but I'm sure everyone's got other stuff to do as well. But Guys, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. It's been a great episode. Great to get back on it. As Richard said, we will be back on probably now on a weekly on a Sunday with more content. We have got a Cardiff away next week, so we'll be covering that. And as the comment we brought up earlier, we will be collaborating with the Sky Blue Hub as well. So stay tuned for that. But guys, before we head off today, any last thoughts before we jump off?
Yeah, I'm thoroughly looking forward to Callum O'Hare's hat trick against Cardiff to make me eat my words.
You know what? Get one goal. I'll be messaging Adam. I'll be like, "How's that for you, mate?"
You know what? I would love nothing more than him to score the winner. Nothing more, because like I say, I think our season hinges on it.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. What about yourself, Rich?
It was a beauty that he scored against Bristol City, even if it's the only one he's got. Yeah, more of them, or a few tap-ins.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Or
a few more assists.
Damn right. Whatever. Assists, goals, we don't mind. We love them all.
Yeah.
But as always, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Stay tuned for more content. Keep hitting the like, subscribe button. Share this on your social media feeds. Rich, is your Twitter back active again? Or have you just put that?
I can't remember. I have breaks from social media.
Okay. Well, guys, if you need to reach Rich, just message me and I'll share a message. You never know, mate. As always, guys, thanks very much for joining on. Have a good evening, and we'll see you soon. And until next time, play up Sky Blues.
Yeah, play up Sky Blues.